Hi boys and girls, as you know we're looking at narratives and today we're going to be focusing on the ending of your story. So the ending or the conclusion. Let's have a quick look at the things that we're supposed to be looking for in a conclusion paragraph. So here, the conclusion or ending. Have any lessons been learned? So for example, the 3 little pigs never built a house out of straw or sticks again. Little Red Riding Hood always listened to her mother after that. And we need to be making sure that when we are doing our conclusion or our ending, that we're thinking about the lessons that they may have learned, and then we are going to be finishing the story. And when we do finish the story, we always return to the first setting. So think about in your orientation, your who, your what, your when, and your where, and sometimes your why. And you need to return to that area. Well, you don't need to. Most of the time we do. And we have a think about all of those 5 W's, and we compare the orientation and the 5 W's from the orientation and think about what has happened in the story, and at the end, what is different from the beginning. So you are describing how things have changed, sort of like a reflection. She never saw her mean, unkind stepmother or stepsisters again. That's from Cinderella. So they've gone back to who was at the very beginning of the story in Cinderella, and they've reflected on it. Since then, the wolf has never returned. That's a bit like the 3 little pigs or Red Riding Hood. They're reflecting on the characters that were part of the complication and what has actually happened. Now, sometimes you might want to include some direct speech, so when the characters are speaking at the end. So an example of this in a conclusion paragraph is, "Phew, home now," she announced, or "Thank you for rescuing me," he said happily. Let's have another look at the example from yesterday, and let's go and highlight the areas and see if we can identify the concluding paragraph. So we already know from yesterday that the first paragraph in this story, Through the Magic Knife, has an orientation and a build-up together in the one paragraph. And they also have the complication starting here in the green. Right there. Oh, it's a big paragraph. And then they had the series of events which is connected with the complication in the next 2 paragraphs here. Now, in this particular story, yesterday we highlighted this part here at the end green, but it's actually its own ending. So have a think. Let's read it and let's see if it reminds us of what we just learnt about on the poster next to this story. "This small hole saved my life," Christopher said in relief. That sounds a little bit reflective of what has happened. So the tone that Christopher is using in his direct speech, and we know because it has speech marks here and here, is that he has thought about all of the things that have happened in the complication and in the series of events where he has started to solve the problem by hiding in the hole and running from the dragon, and then he has reflected on it because his complication has finished. So this small hole saved my life. He hasn't got to think about the dragon anymore. He has time to reflect. This is a very short conclusion or ending, but I'm sure that you would be able to write something a little bit different or express a bit more, just like we saw in the examples over here on the poster.